I'm not just like the rest of you.
Out for me. You promised.
Well, maybe I thought.
My name is Annie January.
Jane, your brain's leaking. Soldier Boy's our weapon. He's how we kill home.
Stop!
Everything.
Yeah, Colorado and Nevada just went to. Stay tuned. I feel like.
You've been working too hard. You
can't see shit.
Live and living color.
Charcuterie?
All right. Come on, kiddo. Yes. You have nothing. We got this.
What are you doing here?
Homelander's in this evening, especially you.
Some, huh?
What a great idea. Go for it, sport. You could spew goo if you wanted to.
What the?
One, that's a formality. Not that that would have hurt us, but that's why you and me are going to prove to the
Ancient history.
Victoria Newman. Let's give her a hand.
I can get you out of here.
What are you-
He's lying to you. Then it's what your mum would want.
Oh. Us.
No joke, I like to. I know it's just a song, but it's just like fashion, it's a passion.
Ms. Newman, we're with your mother's detail.
Yeah, I guess I'll
See nothing.
In the first scene of the episode, Vice President-elect Victoria Newman, Claudia Dumet announces that Robert Singer, Jim Beaver, has won Colorado and Nevada. In the meanwhile, Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso is sitting in a van, and Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara, brings a tray full of food there, telling him he needs to eat, along with Frenchie, Toma Capone. Jack Quaid's character Huey and Erin Moriarty's character Annie manage to get the boys onto the building's security system, but Butcher isn't on the communications. He is shown puking in an alleyway when the camera turns to him wearing a suit that Frenchie and Kimiko gift him, but he discards it. They proceed to ride the elevator up to Newman's room when the door guard lets them in, but Kimiko forbids Butcher from using the lift. The scene switches to Homelander, Anthony Starr shaving off a grey pubic hair in the restroom. Homelander assures him he has nothing to be anxious about as he enters the lobby to speak with his son Ryan, Cameron Crovetti. They're just humans and toys for our amusement, he says to his son. Mother's Milk informs them not to interact when they see Homelander inside the building while they are in the vehicle. Homelander greets Victoria and her daughter Zoe, Olivia Mirandon, telling them they look lovely before Victoria takes the kids for ice cream. Victoria queries his purpose for being here and expresses her disapproval of his support given that he is accused of murder. She counters that his stockholders didn't applaud when he was slain, to which he responds that they didn't. He presents her before the assembly after she declares that whatever prior transaction they had is history. In the hotel kitchen, Butcher approaches Ryan and demands that he go with him to see Grace Mallory, Layla Robbins. However, Homelander enters and speaks up. The Seven's commander bemoans the fact that they won't get to enjoy that final dance after using his X-ray vision to reveal the tumor on Butcher's brain. While Kimiko and Frenchie steal into Victoria's hotel room until her daughter Zoe arrives, Ryan departs with Homelander. As Kimiko grabs Frenchie and Zoe lets out her tentacles from her face to take out the guards, they both leap out of the building from many floors above. Annie manages to grab Frenchie, but Kimiko collapses onto her face and begins to rapidly grow new limbs. Huey tries to kill Victoria with the acid Frenchie created earlier in the episode, but it fails when she opens the van door on him. She is then shot in the head by Butcher, who suddenly appears, but nothing occurs, so she retreats inside to change. After meets with Grace and Singer in The Boys Season 4, Episode 1, they refuse to let Butcher attend since he messed up with Ryan. Victoria's removal is the president-elect's first priority, and receives a call from his ex-wife, Monique Frances Turner. Joe Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan stops by Butcher's workplace and they have a cup of coffee together. Butcher claims that after killing the innocent guy in broad daylight, he is still fixated on Homelander. Kessler reminds him of their past interactions and inquires as to whether he is paying attention. The video then flips to Monique visiting MM after he says Butcher they could use someone like him. She tells them that their daughter Janine, Liu Abere, has been hitting doors and swearing at her mother, and that she got into a fight at school and knocked out a boy. Reluctantly, MM grants her request to locate Todd, Matthew Gorman, for his daughter. The scene cuts to Homelander, who is going through all of his previous season's experiences via flashback. When he awakens, the scene changes to him hearing Ashley, Colby Minifie and the other members of the Seven speak in a courtroom. The Deep, Chase Crawford, responds in the affirmative when Ashley asks if the octopus is okay. When she opens a fresh list of prospective members of the Seven, Homelander is weary of people just agreeing with him out of fear for him. Saying that he's surrounded by idiots, Homelander begs Deep to bomb the A-Train, Jesse T. Usher. Homelander instructs Deep to get off his knees as he is ready to do it out of sheer terror. As he claims that none of them would have the courage to disagree with him, the camera pans to Butcher studying an old picture of him and his late wife Becca, Chantel Van Santen. Annie exercises her flying prowess within the boys' headquarters in the meanwhile. Frenchie is furious because the acid isn't working, while Huey ignores a call from his father Hugh, Simon Pegg. Huey is unreceptive to Annie and MM's attempts to persuade him to let Butcher free. Butcher and Victoria meet inside Vault Video in the meanwhile. He claims to be aware of the General V virus and to know that Homelander cannot yet be killed by it, but he still requests for her assistance in getting rid of Homelander. Victoria requests that Butcher erase the negative information that Huey has about her as a sign of his good intentions. Huey rushes to see his father after receiving a call from the hospital at headquarters informing him that he has been hospitalized. The next scene in the film shows someone inside the Starlight House enjoying firecrackers, Valerie Curry live performance. Workers at Annie's suggest that she has to be Starlight, not Annie, if they want to change things, but she won't accept that. Kimiko overhears Frenchie and Colin, Elliot Knight conversing after Annie introduced them. The two appear to be enjoying themselves. As Homelander gets dressed, he spots another grey pube and places it in a drawer jar with like objects. After screening all of the possible candidates for the Seven, he focuses on Sister Sage, Susan Hayward. When he visits her apartment later, he begs her to prove her intellect, to which she responds by spilling all the latest information about his life. Impressed yet annoyed, Homelander approaches her for life advice. He responds that it's all pointless and expresses his annoyance that although humans are only toys, they are in charge of everything. She contends that he must wait for the populace to demolish itself before intervening to rescue the day. When she declines his invitation to join the Seven, he gives her the opportunity to apply her theories globally, and she is compelled to accept. Huey finds Butcher at the boy's office again, and he informs him about his father. He regrets not picking up his phone sooner, but Butcher reassures him that it wasn't his fault. When Huey sees Butcher trembling, Butcher gives him a hug and says he hopes his old guy makes it through. Before Huey and Annie go, Butcher stealthily takes the flash disk from him. Todd is followed by MM, Frenchie, and Kimiko until he meets with Sister Sage and other Homelander enthusiasts. Frenchie discovers that Colin had long since slain his family after seeing a photo of them when he gets up to fetch water. Colin and Frenchie were lying in bed together. When Huey's mother, Rosemary DeWitt, enters the hospital, Butcher is shown erasing Huey's file on Victoria while Huey and his father are sitting there listening to old voicemails. Billy then sees Becca in a different vision, and she tells him he kept his word to look for Ryan. He argues that he's making an effort and turns to speak with her again, but she's gone. As the episode ends, the camera returns to him drinking in the office after he contacts Victoria saying he has the files. When she reads the text, she sees a photo of his ass. The first segment of The Boys Season 4's 3-episode debut is a potent return to form. While the Seven and Vought are even more insane than in previous seasons, Billy Butcher and his crew are getting up to their usual mischief.
Yo, Red J! Hurry up!
Mary's always happy to have you. You're throwing it all away? Sling it. You got a choice, son. Either come back with me.
Streets.
Cut! Holy fuck. Literal. Wait, what is that smell? What? An Oscar nomination. Get you back to one, huh?
I'm gonna watch playback.
Trouble getting out of the starter's block. Everybody's given up on you. All the sensitivity readers that we hired, they all...
And he must be so proud.
Tiny little thing
You said, all right, everybody, let's get back to one-on-one.
Meaningful challenge, but yesterday was whack as.
Look, don't get me wrong. I am stoked to
Keep your mouth shut. Use your fucking tongue.
Of letting your children play carefree, outsiders have shown their true colors, folks. Feel different.
Let's see. White and blue caddy. I thought it might be helpful.
Really fighting them right now. Please stop. Mom, stop.
You look good. Got tall.
Now. So,
He gave me power of attorney.
why the
Besides that, you'd have to ask him.
You leave the money on the dresser. Would have been a lot worse.
Therapist Gloria has filled me in on that. Be free of it.
What is this?
I'm not sure what.
Hey!
All right. So again, fuck me.
From you, you're a liability, Butcher. Now grab your shit out.
Small town kid grows up on a Montana.
Who am I? Then one day that it's time for you to take your place.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Does not blow.
It blows the profitability.
Yeah, but I don't think Ryan.
Brand needs to reflect that. He's not one of
But let's not forget me.
the chosen one. So America will want.
I'm not on the call.
A scene from A Train's Jesse T. Usher recently released film, Training a Train, which stars Will Ferrell as his instructor, introduces the show. Ferrell's portrayal is praised by the movie's director, Adam Bork, PJ Byrne, who requests that A Train commit to the part a bit more. When Black Noir, Nathan Mitchell wishes to speak and expresses his disapproval of killing people, A Train responds that Noir is meant to be a killer who lacks consciousness. While Huey, Jack Quaid waits in the hospital with his father Hugh, Simon Pegg and mother Daphne, Rosemary DeWitt, who is attempting to assist Hugh but is having none of it. Annie, Erin Moriarty sits in the hospital with her friend who was beaten during Sister Sage's riot. Huey is still upset that his mother is here, and he leaves when she informs him that his father granted her legal authority over him. After being attacked by a Homelander, Frenchie, Toma Capone slips out of Colin's apartment and orders him to stay in bed. After hearing a therapist speculate that Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara, may be silent due to a traumatic event in the past, Kimiko becomes enraged and storms out of the clinic. Butcher screams at Annie after telling the lads he doesn't have much time left, and Laz Alonso dismisses him from the squad. When Huey attempts to talk him out of it, informs him that if he wants to go, he may go with him. At Vought Tower, in Season 4, Episode 2, the creatives provide Ryan, Cameron Crovetti and Ashley, Colby Minifie with his heroic origin tale. Everyone in the room is saying how much they love the pitch, but Susan Hayward's character Sister Sage interrupts to say that it blows. Ryan is informed of his first save, but since Homelander isn't included on the call sheet, he instructs them to proceed. Ashley tries to give Sister Sage advice as they board the elevator together, but Sister Sage sees right through Ashley. The Deep enters the elevator as well and requests to assist Ryan in saving his life, but Ashley ignores him and exits the building. After Sister Sage warns him against allowing Ashley to speak to him in such a manner, the camera pans to discussing the events of the protest. Huey, meantime, is finding it difficult to concentrate due to his dad's situation. The Seven and Ryan practice the save as the guys go on their assignments. Ryan is asked to practice some more by the trainer, Koi, John Koyoma, who also provides everyone with some criticism. When Deep tries to speak with Homelander, he is told to stop talking. Then, when Ashley approaches to talk to him, the aquatic hero gets in her face and threatens to drown her in her toilet. Homelander becomes alarmed when he hears Vought executives discussing airbrushing his wrinkles out of his most recent movie. Butcher is already in the hotel conference center when the lads arrive. When begs him to go, he refuses, and the two of them stroll Truth Con together in an attempt to find Sister Sage. Kimiko experiences intense flashbacks after seeing an old photo of the human trafficking organization she formerly belonged to. Subsequently, she becomes extremely inebriated on a train ale when the fellas arrive at Firecrackers, Valerie Curry live blog. Firecracker feeds the audience nothing but right-wing conspiracy theory nonsense, and they gobble it up. Frenchie discovers that Firecracker's helper is intoxicated when Kimiko and Frenchie follow her. Although she wants Frenchie to be with Colin, Kimiko tells him she is envious. When the two go into the sauna, they see the imposter enjoying a fivesome with himself. After that, Annie and Huey accompany a train to the park, where Huey stands up for Starlight and reminds her that the populace needs a symbol. As they witness a train narrating to his nephews about one of his previous saves, his brother Nathan, Christian Keys arrives in a wheelchair and demands that he tell them the truth. When Nathan discloses that all of the saves were phony, a train tells the youngsters it's tricky. When Firecracker returns to the conference, she is chatting with people at her booth when Sister Sage approaches her. Since Sage lacks physical abilities, Butcher tries to take her, but MM forbids him from entering the conference hall. When MM brings up Monique, Francis Turner, Butcher pushes him too far, and as a result, he strikes him in the face and knocks him to the ground. MM advises Butcher to go home, stating that he was mistaken to believe that this time would be different. When Kimiko proceeds to vandalize another poster from her childhood trafficking ring, someone approaches her, but she fights back until Frenchie tells her to stop. When Annie and Huey return to Boys HQ, a train is there and eager to assist. He provides them with video proof clearing innocent Starlight followers who were suspected of killing Todd, Matthew Gorman and the other Homelander supporters. He claims that because they didn't confront him in front of his family, he is giving it to them. Everyone successfully completes the rescue at Vought Bank, but Ryan kills his trainer Coy by mistake when he tosses him onto a building. Sister Sage orders Firecracker to kill MM, Frenchie, and Kimiko when they are discovered eavesdropping on her at the hotel. Following their altercation, Firecracker follows and blows up the party. Frenchie and MM leave the room to discover a marvelous Ms. Maisel-themed Bat Mitzvah, Stretch Those IP Muscles, Prime Video. The lads appear to have given up hope completely until Butcher arrives and gives them a serious ass kick. The lads are told to leave by Firecracker's assistant, who rapidly surrounds him with clones, but they manage to save him. Firecracker flees the building when Butcher kills the lead clone, killing the others as well. Ryan is weeping as Homelander gives him a milkshake at Vought Tower. Though Ryan appears to be sobbing because he arrived for his save, he is actually angry since he killed a man. Ryan insists he will never save another person, even after Homelander tells him that mishaps occur and people are fallible. Homelander attempts to explain to him that people are just toys, but he becomes angry and walks off, taking the milkshake with him. The Starlighters who were found guilty of killing Todd and the other Homelander supporters are let free thanks in part to the film of a train. Annie displays her strength in front of the audience, and they applaud her. Huey goes back to the hospital to face his mother, while Frenchie returns to headquarters without answering a call from Colin. He remembers every detail of the day she departed and tells her about it. She apologizes for leaving, but he tells her that he won't forgive her and that if she doesn't get his advice before making any medical decisions, he'll take her to court. As Butcher enters HQ and MM praises him for saving him at the con, Kimiko experiences additional flashbacks. Butcher says that MM isn't a good leader because he is fearful of doing the right thing and is empathetic, implying that being a good leader means being an asshole. When Butcher asks MM for assistance at the end of the episode, MM responds that it's too little, too late. The problems with the guys in Season 4 are systemic rather than limiting the brilliance of each episode. Although Homelander's role as the main antagonist is starting to become old, every other player on the board is performing to the best of their abilities.
Big round of applause for this. A time when this country of superheroes, brave leader Starlight commands it. Right, here they are, the Defenders. As we welcome 2 new members. Really suits you. The other day, you saw that video, right?
I can get Ryan here. I can do some. Then we better work fast. Now listen here, Joe.
Listen, brother, you don't trust me.
And not. Now that Starlight's back, we're not.
Is there a problem?
Behind the scenes. It is harder to stage a fucking coup.
Hey, how about a photo with the new?
In no way represents the.
Pretty cut and dry. Your mom has power. Almost all the time.
We need to talk.
We have a basement.
Bullshit.
All right.
Un imbécile.
I'm a guy like Jason fucking Bourne.
I see.
You need me to kiss it better?
We've got Burns.
Fucking hell.
Sorry,
I'm calling the shots for too damn long. From the military, from private glory. So,
Holy. No.
Of heart?
Yo, he's no seven big as happened.
Mm-hmm.
We fished in him.
Yeah, or he could murder.
Bring Butcher back.
Fuck no.
Without blowing some dude to get there.
My dad said I'm not supposed to talk.
No, a proper catch-up. And nice one. Reckon I deserve. That's all I ask.
And regulated because this has been gone bad.
Anything you need.
Okay. Here. Okay, I have questions, but I'm not. Fuck up, Dwar, and everyone take your seats.
I'm always here.
Oh, Sage is gonna take.
Of course not.
No. Actually, Ashley. She would like to address with the Sage. Because it's your department. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
A hashtag called Rescue Ryan.
Can you at least open the door and...
All right.
You've been so...
Do we have to go over this? I can't just drop everything. I can't, babe.
Are you... Tell me what's wrong.
Yeah,
I haven't had a doctor's appointment in 3 fucking years.
He should leave a floater in his toilet.
I'm gonna finally do it. I am finally gonna...
Me?
Better than a lucky peanuts and rainbows that time.
Really?
I'm not hungry.
It's nothing.
Tell when you're lying.
A choir performs on stage while Homelander watches Starlight. Erin Moriarty protesters yell in the opening scene of the episode. In his speech, he denounces Starlighters as the greatest menace in American history. Next, he introduces the Seven to the audience, featuring newcomers Valerie Curry as Firecracker and Susan Hayward as Sister Sage. Additionally, Homelander suggests that he could be holding onto the final seat for his son Ryan, Cameron Crovetti. After speaking with Joe Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Butcher, Carl Urban devises a scheme to apprehend Ryan and deliver him to Grace Mallory, Layla Robbins. Butcher claims he merely wants to bring Ryan to safety and won't teach him how to murder Homelander. Back at Vought Tower, Homelander challenges Sister Sage about adding her to the squad, to which she responds that it's the greatest method to combat Starlight, while Firecracker talks gibberish to reporters. A lawyer informs Huey, Jack Quaid, that his best option is to resolve his differences with his mother, Rosemary DeWitt, as he won't be able to contest her for power of attorney. Then, a fan of Firecracker enters the Starlight home, brandishing a gun, saying he is going to free abducted children, but Frenchie, Toma Capone, takes his weapon away. Then, in the restroom, Frenchie and Colin, Elliot Knight converse before sharing a kiss. The Boys' Jim Beaver's character Singer argues in Season 4, Episode 3 that Soup should be removed from the military and made into performers once more, to which Victoria, Claudia Dumet obnoxiously concurs. Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara persuades Frenchie to assist her in battling a shining light cell back at headquarters. Huey and Annie are informed by Laz Alonso that wants to flip a train, Jesse T. Usher, but they are not in favor of it. After that, we return to Vought Tower, where Ryan plays a fictitious version of Mortal Kombat 7 and engages in online combat with Butcher. Butcher says he wants to meet and chat to him, and he requests to have a few minutes of his time. Homelander is told by Firecracker that she would stop at nothing to help him, and Black Noir, Nathan Mitchell, approaches Ashley, Colby Minifie, for guidance. Ashley is subsequently fired by Homelander, who informs her that Sage will become the new CEO. Homelander and Sage demote crime analytics The Deep, Chase Crawford, during the Seven meeting. When Ambrosius, Tilda Swinton, suggests that they take a vacation, Deep walks back to his room and tells her that they are unable to. Ashley confides in Matthew Edison's character, Cameron Coleman, at her office before assuming control of him. Ryan pays a visit as Butcher bakes cookies laced with sedatives. When meets a train at the track and attempts to persuade him to help, Ryan refuses the cookies, so they play foosball. Frenchie and Kimiko start a shining light ring fight, but Frenchie is too high to stop them. Along with other delusions, he gets a flashback of killing Colin's family. At the ring, Kimiko runs across an old friend who is also a hostage. After killing everyone else, she lets her go. While they are playing foosball, Ryan tells Butcher about his brother, Lenny. When Ryan tells Butcher about the problem with Coy, he gets the response that Homelander is a horrible man who shouldn't be caring for a child. Butcher puts the cookies away and they play another game because he wants to make things right with Ryan because he's all that's left of Becca, Chantel Van Santen. Sage and Homelander question a Vought employee who has ties to Starlight back at the tower. They guarantee her protection if she provides them with the information they want, but as soon as she confesses, Homelander murders her. Annie goes to the tower to ask Firecracker why she despises her so much. Because Annie mistreated Firecracker when they were young pageant competitors, Firecracker harbors resentment toward Annie. Annie labeled Firecracker a big slut and told everyone that at 13, she had slept with the judges. The scene then pans to Huey and MM watching Vought on ice. Huey tries to get up to go, but MM tells him that as his CO, he has to follow through on his promises. Huey goes to install a bug in preparation for Homelander and Victoria's rendezvous, but it begins too soon, trapping him in the vent. In the next scene of The Boys Season 4, Episode 3, Victoria is being pushed back by Homelander and Sister Sage to reveal her identity as a soup when she becomes president. As Huey begins to perspire through the vent, Homelander detects his scent and attempts to kill him by lasering the ceiling. Then, using stadium lights, MM blinds Homelander, and the Vought on Ice singer is unintentionally killed by his laser. After saving Huey from Homelander, a train leaves without saying anything. Frenchie, Kimiko, and Starlight discuss their pasts back at HQ. Frenchie informs Kimiko that they are unable to resolve each other's issues, despite her desire to assist him. When Huey returns to the hospital, his mother answers his questions about why she left them, saying that she tried suicide because she was miserable. She also apologizes once again. Kessler informs Butcher that they must either murder Ryan or find out a way to train him in the interim. Sister Sage and the Deep enjoy a bloomin' onion and make out at Vought Tower. When Homelander discovers Ryan is lying, he becomes enraged and chases Ryan to his apartment. Ryan claims he flew to Coney Island. The episode ends as Homelander speaks with many versions of himself in a broken mirror. The mirrors advise him to return home, to the place where it all began. The lads round up their spectacular 3-episode Season 4 launch with a powerful episode that whets appetites for what's to come next week. 3 episodes is the ideal amount to start with, but the show is now trying to cover its material more slowly.
Who wants their balls crushed?
You're done. Grab your shit and get the
Cracker!
She's the world. He had a stroke.
Really?
Till you transcend your humanity.
The security cameras upstairs just...
Tell them we have a breach.
Winner. Oh my God. I brought up Fudgy the Whale.
But a lot that I reckon.
You remember? Ren, would you? I'd love to catch up. Please, come on in.
What are you doing?
Fucking kidding me?
I'm sorry, your father's condition.
Don't.
Tonight, 8/7/7.
Newly announced anti-superhero legislation.
Give us the room. Kill the head-popping bitch.
That's a stake through Vaught's heart. 50 million constituents demanding by Las Vegas are definitely winning over them. I can get people into the street if I have to.
Western phase.
Your family.
Yeah, so my grades, she was an example out of it. So
You were there.
got these scars, all these burns, maybe.
Let's call in Stacy and Mark. What are they doing?
So far, Starlight's progressive jihad by Starlight for reasons they can't even explain. You have your talking points, so.
Or just skip straight into Flounder Pounder Special.
Figured this
Uppity, but...
About Starlight and her...
Please tell Sasha to have them go easy on the room.
Such a void.
Trust him. I don't, and you're in...
When Firecracker, Valerie Curry divulges a startling personal tidbit about Annie, Erin Moriarty, the 4th episode jacks up the ante. The Boys, Wisdom of the Ages, the 4th episode of Season 4, begins with Homelander, Anthony Starr carrying a cake to the Vought bunker, his upbringing. Homelander observes with a worried expression on his face as all of the Vought staff members split a slice of cake. Butcher, Carl Urban feels something crawling beneath his skin while he takes a shower, but he collapses and strikes his skull. When Huey, Jack Quaid, returns to the hospital, the physicians inform him that his father, Simon Pegg, only has a few days to live. They are removing his feeding tube. When Starlight visits Robert Singer, the presidential contender played by Jim Beaver, she offers to support him in winning the election, but only if he guarantees that she will finally destroy Vought. Unaware that Frenchie, Toma Capone, was the one who killed his parents, Colin, Elliot Knight informs Frenchie about what happened to his parents. Once she returns to the Starlight house, Firecracker and her group set up a performance across the street.
My dad. We're good.
Okay, what do we do?
Oh, easy.
Don't come cheap, my son.
What happened with that gash on your face?
Emma got a favored wask. You're running away from Homelander. Oh, Butcher.
Raise him.
Could have been. All right, keep your ear on, love. We just emit that lovely fifth bang. You and your little.
Susan Hayward's character Sister Sage informs the Seven and the media about their intentions to undermine Starlight and increase Firecracker's viewership from inside Vought Tower. After the prior encounter, the Deep, Chase Crawford, makes an attempt to hit on Sister Sage, but she declares that she finds him repulsive. Firecracker begins her performance in front of the Starlight house as Annie leaves the structure. When the lads arrive to assist, Laz Alonso informs them that Butcher has returned, and they come up with a strategy to defeat Firecracker. In the Vought lab, Homelander coerces Frank, Mark Cowling, into entering the furnace, whereupon he is fatally burned in Season 4, Episode 4. A train, Jesse T. Usher appears at the docks as Huey and Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara go to meet MM's contact. In an attempt to rescue his father, Huey asks a train to bring him some Compound V, but Kimiko believes Huey should let his father pass away. The troops of the Shining Light attack them, cutting off the talk. Upon entering the Firecracker concert backstage, Butcher begs for assistance in removing Ryan, Cameron Crovetti, from Homelander. Firecracker is subsequently subjected to blackmail by the two over her liaison with a 15-year-old kid, but she doesn't care and distributes the video on her own.
You're shucking a little bird. Okay? In your hands. I need more spit. That'll work. It happens to a lot of guys. Barbara. I know just the place.
The crowd loves it up as Firecracker then goes on live TV and admits to sleeping with a 15-year-old while pretending to be sorry for her transgressions. Firecracker adds that Starlight's first successful rescue resulted in the hostage's blindness. Next, while a train takes the Compound V from Homelander's apartment, Butcher dispatches Frenchie to check Firecracker's trailer. When he discovers Ashley, Colby Minifie, has left a floater in his toilet, he not only captures her but also forges an unexpected partnership with her. Homelander attempts to make Murray Furrow masturbate in front of everyone back at the Vought bunker, and when he refuses, he shoots him in the crotch with a laser. Marty stomps his head in frustration while Homelander laughs at him and encourages Barbara, Nancy Lenehan, to end his suffering. Huey kills one of the Shining Light warriors as he and Kimiko manage to repel them. While Annie makes her theatrical announcement to the world that she had an abortion 6 months prior, Frenchie looks through Firecracker's trailer. After Frenchie becomes trapped in the trailer, Annie attacks Firecracker in front of the entire world on stage until stops her.
We never did. You could have broken out of. Your need would be obedient. Your need for love is so deep.
I'm gonna raise him so that he knows.
Hey. Colleen, please. All right, I gotta get you up. What was you?
Though Butcher is on the verge of death, he miraculously and narrowly avoids Ezekiel, Sean Benson. Barbara informs Homelander that he was designed to be submissive, while Frenchie confesses to Colin that he killed his family, which prompts Colin to assault him. Sister Sage begs the Deep to lobotomize her since her brain won't stop expanding momentarily, which is the purpose behind their last expedition, in one of the grossest scenes depicted in The Boys thus far. After that, Singer breaks off contact with Starlight, and Huey gets the Compound V from a train. When Huey confesses that Butcher took V 4 months ago, it didn't help, and he warns Huey not to give it to his father. Hugh gets injected by his mother, Rosemary DeWitt, when Huey returns to the hospital and finds it difficult to do so.
No, I mean, neither was I.
And over and over and over again. And
It's none of her business.
The soup control bill would have.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
This is bullshit.
Jesus, how long have you been standing there?
What you gonna do with that then?
What other choice do I have?
Any other?
It's gotta be... to have powers?
You'll only make matters worse.
The vial accidentally falls out of his pocket. When Huey returns to the chamber, he sees the V take hold, his father resurrects, and Homelander leaves the bunker with a mound of bodies in tow. The Boys, Wisdom of the Ages, the 4th episode of Season 4, is the ideal continuation to the practically faultless first 3 episodes. Homelander may be overused as a plot device, but Starr's portrayal makes sure the character is captivating every time he appears on film.
Some help.
She confessed.
The fuck?
Starlight visited a clinic, and she had
Vulcan University.
The virus only. That love conquers all, and that.
B-52 Expo. Now.
Weird. Well, I'm telling you, they didn't have pepperoni, so I had to get soup. Right? I mean, it's a true blue miracle.
You gave him the V? I didn't. Okay, it's just that I...
The thought of you losing another one.
Well, I am pressing charges for his evil folks. Feel when she murdered him.
Supposed to do with her home for 2 weeks more.
What were you thinking? Okay, Monique.
Billy, for a reason you have a blind spot for you. I don't. We're decent people. But you and
something. I don't know, maybe because I'm...
The answer does now. You see some... Fuck. It's enough to kill Homelander.
Okay.
Newman had put me to the post.
Which it says it is. Do you really want it?
Asked me to join this.
Speaking of faith, let's all have a moment of silence.
Any leads?
Fingers some fucking clay. Where's your fucking menace?
It's not my bird.
Danny, you strike me as the type of Victoria. She... enough nightmare.
Charming.
The honey...
Why did you buy a timeshare?
Polko, you know, it's in the Da Vinci Code.
Oh.
Imagine.
Agent ring for when you put that shit down, you moron.
Okay.
Me too. Well, you remember when Jar Jar got lit?
With blood and shit. Yeah, I remember.
It came to an advanced story.
Hey, Ben, it's the smell. I'm as surprised as you are.
See the labels mark each iteration of.
I don't recall giving you permission. You?
Oi.
Okay. So, you brought in Samir. You hurt these people. At the very least, they're effective cannon.
On you, but you can't give up on yourself. It's life. You can run yourself into an
So close to my heart.
I'm sorry, but slice of life drama.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to.
TV show ever.
Bob proudly supports and broke. Well, we say go woke. Real peach cognac.
Then we announce Ryan really teaching the next generation. Text.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Get in front of Mika Kelly because again, that was just what?
Slave, only worse. From now on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
How much I hated it here. A way to control Homelander.
No. You put a monster? Is that why you have me?
Okay.
We've got a casualty.
What the hell is...
Okay, something obviously went wrong. On me if I gave him Ryan.
It's just go. It's an absolute one.
What?
Go pop him back in. Right. You are.
You set me up. Think you're poor. Underestimate.
Are you okay?
You're not much use to us if your parents were on the fuck way. Hands anymore.
It's been a whole year. Sage, it's Homelander.
Chill out. You just made me a.
We made a deal.
It's soundtrack of Nirvana hit.
Diet Kiwis.
Dad?
Why don't you sit that down? No. Dad, it's...
What's happening? Has been a report of an emergency.
Man, I'm sorry. I've got to take Huey to the.
I'm Huey.
Why don't we go back to your room?
You shouldn't be here. My life.
Just swing by for a late night.
Have it on the air by tonight.
Hilarious new comedy Flipped.
We could go get some Nathan. Really help. It's what my mom. Is he making you?
Ryan.
I'm
Down on the PA.
I exploited our
To be taught a lesson.
please.
Drama wie it feels.
It's just
I love it.
that forgiving is.
All my sins wash away. Damnation.
Oh my god.
Wait.
R&D before he went behind.
First mistake, mon ami.
It got loose, except for one dose.
Is that?
Not very, only through bodily.
Man is in no condition to fuck a sheep.
It's too valuable.
Okay, we run.
Zoe from you, that's his old fucking plan, isn't it?
Not really.
You're a monster. And
Hives. And you, motherfucker, but you a motherfucker with a.
There has been a report.
Something like this?
What are you looking for?
I don't know, it's
Daphne!
To the Vought store to buy the Tech Night doll. You're my hero. It's me, it's Huey. Where are we? It's Huey, remember?
How long did you use?
Victoria.
Not very.
Yes.
David, we have to say it's not going to be easy. Well, celebrities. You will be. You'll know.
Anything.
I don't know who that
So, Patriots.
Just a moment, sir.
Madam, excuse me.
Sir, we'll get.
French friend, he kind of taught me.
For taking such good care.
Well, we both are. Three of us, we could do the Da Vinci. Tom.
Butcher.
But not no more. Right as rain, make us some more of that vibe.
We get things off with a video that plays during V52 Expo, which is a compilation of Vought Studios' best-known advertisements over the years, some of which are rather offensive. The celebration is hosted by Matthew Edison's character Cameron Coleman and Chase Crawford's character The Deep. Many people who attend panels costume as different members of the Seven. Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, is backstage. In the episode from last week, he relives his memories of killing many individuals at the lab. Ryan, Cameron Crovetti, appears in the final shot of the memory montage. Homie is buried in his own thoughts as Sage. Susan Hayward tries to talk to him. Beginning with the first four, Deep and Cameron present phases 7 through 19 of the VCU, Vought Cinematic Universe on stage. Hugh, Peg is now sitting up in bed and chattering non-stop when Huey, Quaid and Daphne, Rosemary DeWitt drop in on him. Huey yanks his mother away. She tells him that she gave Hugh a compound V injection. Since Huey's mother raised him, she doesn't want him to live without his father. Afterwards, Erin Moriarty's Annie, Starlight, witnesses Valerie Curry's firecracker insulting her on the truth bomb. As Annie surveys Starlight House, she notices profanity-filled graffiti scribbled all over the walls. As Janine, Liu Abere is being suspended from school due to her conduct, Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso and Monique, Frances Turner cope with it. They quarrel about who gets to babysit her. MM is involved in a major project, the attempt to remove Victoria Newman from office. Following that, Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Butcher, Carl Urban cross paths in the park. They have sufficient ammunition to pursue Victoria. Butcher is reluctant to draw the gun, though. Kessler exhorts him to do it alone, abandoning his inexperienced group. Together, they can accomplish the task. Annie queries Frenchie, Toma Capone at the boys' headquarters on Colin's whereabouts. Frenchie tells a falsehood, saying Colin had to leave town. Karen Fukuhara's character Kimiko feels something is wrong. If Frenchie is alright, she asks. Once more, he tells a falsehood. Butcher interrupts them to thrust important news into their laps. Thanks to researchers at Godolphin University, a virus that kills Supremes is now available for purchase. Regretfully, Victoria had already obtained it when Butcher went on to school to look into it. Annie is hesitant to comply with this, understandably enough. What prevents Butcher from infecting Kimiko and her with the virus? She does, however, accept it after receiving one encouraging look from Kimiko. Furthermore, this virus may hold the answer to eliminating Homelander. A trailer for Vought Faith's next film, Firecracker, Lord Soldier, is being shown at V52 Expo. Sage approaches a train, Jesse T. Usher on the leaker when Cameron and Deep are introducing an in memoriam clip for God's fallen angel, Ezekiel. Later, Butcher, MM, and Stan Edgar, Giancarlo Esposito have a conversation. If he helps them, they offer a presidential pardon and exoneration from all charges. They desire Stan's assistance in overthrowing Victoria. Stan, therefore, leaves jail with a stylish ankle monitor. When he returns, Annie isn't overjoyed to see him. They all cram into a vehicle that is headed to Stan's property. Hugh and Daphne entertain Huey with stories from their honeymoon when they are back at the hospital. Huey appears happy, giving Huey her engagement ring. Daphne hopes he will pop the question to Annie shortly. She says she has to go use the restroom. Huey asks his father regarding the matter of the power of attorney. Hugh acknowledges his son's difficulty letting go of people. He wants someone who isn't scared to make difficult choices, even if he loves Huey for it. A few minutes later, Hugh inquires as to Daphne's whereabouts, despite having heard her head for the bathroom. The group gets at Stan's property later. As they descend through a makeshift lab downstairs, they notice bloody handprints all over the walls. Compound V's shattered vial was scattered over the floor. Mice and rabbits are among the animals kept in cages. The butcher uses an IV of Temp V to release one rabbit. Frenchie finds that the virus vials are missing. All of a sudden, noses are bleeding, signaling the entrance of Victoria, Claudia Dumet. Annie makes an attempt to use her talents but is unsuccessful. They're not feeling well. Where is Samir? She wonders. Naturally, no one is aware. Samir and his associates worked on the virus in this location. A teaser for Training a Train, which stars Will Ferrell and a train, teases an actual award winner for both of them. Deep confronts Cameron behind closed doors on the latter's reporting of his firing as head of crime analytics. Strong vows to avenge Cameron's wife that evening by making tender love to her. After that, Adam, PJ. Byrne discusses Ryan's new television show, Super School, with Homelander and Ryan. Neither the title nor Adam's suggestion appeal to Ryan. Homelander forces Adam to relinquish the keys to Ryan's Jaguar and his black Amex. Hurt. Following the meeting, Homie confides in Ryan about how he has lived his entire life feeling like a slave. Oh my god. The things that are on this program shouldn't surprise me anymore. Homie wants complete freedom for him and Ryan to do as they want. No repercussions. Then, we observe our team investigating viruses making their way to the farm's chicken coop. That is the location of the true magic. Stan challenges Victoria about providing Compound V to Zoe. She says her only intention is to keep her daughter safe. They enter the barn and find themselves surrounded by hens that are heavily invested in Compound V. You know, everyday things. Before one of the hens strikes Stan, Victoria pops its head. When everyone has left, MM and Butcher lock the co-op. Victoria is accused by Butcher of failing to alert them about the super chickens. Victoria says she doesn't know. She then tells the gang about her arrangement with Butcher, which involved giving him her Red River recordings in return for Ryan's release from Homelander. The boys are understandably not very happy about this. In defense of himself, Butcher claims he never completed the transaction. MM mobilizes the team to spread out and look for the infection. Ultimately, this is a very large farm. It might need some time. In the meantime, Ashley, Colby Minifie confronts Cameron about taking off his GPS and Bluetooth-equipped anal bead at a buffet. Cameron ends their romantic relationship. In the midst of Annie's onslaught, Firecracker accuses Sage of setting her up. Sage said she had fun watching the show. MM then queries Kimiko on Frenchie. She admits that Frenchie won't talk to her. Annie and Victoria discuss how the latter's abilities are lacking. With Starlight gone, Victoria questions who Annie is. Annie strikes Victoria in the face as a result of her intense questioning. Butcher finds the rabbit he set loose from the laboratory somewhere else. Tentacles suddenly protruded from the animal's abdomen. Butcher kills the unfortunate creature by stomping on it. RIP. At V52, Derek Wilson's character Tech Knight announces to the crowd that a reboot is in order because it has been a whole year since his last movie. I laughed at this, along with a 12-minute sequence that is completely dark. A train admits to Ashley backstage that he is the leaker. She admits that this makes her a collaborator. A train has faith in her to come up with a plan to save them from the flames. Hugh isn't in his hospital bed when Huey and Daphne discover this later. In another room, they discover him presiding over a deceased patient, holding the sufferer's heart in his palm. Hugh drops the heart and darts through a wall. Oh no, it's the V activating. Hugh leaps into the other room and dashes across the corpse of a guy. Oh no, he is overtaken by Daphne and Huey. He says he only knew Huey when he was a little child and not as an adult. Hugh loses it on Daphne and becomes enraged with her for abandoning them. A security officer shows up on the scene. He points his weapon toward Hugh. Then, backstage, Deep annoys Cameron once again. Cameron retorts, saying he has information on Deep. Deep has ambrosia in his closet, as he knows. This might be Cameron's breaking news for his next filming that night. As the two guzzle milkshakes, Homelander asks Ryan what he wants to accomplish with his life. Ryan's dream is to serve others. Real rescues, not just fake ones. Ryan is advised by Homie to save Adam's PA, whom the latter continues to torment him sexually. Is Adam disturbing her? Ryan asks the woman. Yes, she replies, and Ryan gives Adam an order to apologize. But his apologies don't seem sincere enough. Ryan suggests that Adam kneel and gaze up at her while apologizing, at Homie's advice. At last, Ryan begs the woman to give Adam a hard smack. Adam screams for the spectacle to cease while Ryan and Homelander smile at it. Afterwards, Frenchie and Annie talk about their religion while they search the farm. As a devoted Catholic, Frenchie is. She responds that she would want to. The topic of forgiveness comes up. Frenchie is certain that some behaviors are not excused. What has Frenchie done? Annie wonders. Abruptly, the group encounters a bull that has Compound V coursing through it. But before the beast can strike, sheep on wings descend to pick up the bull. In midair, they dismember the beast. Diabolical. All of them take refuge in the barn, where Victoria meets Samir again, Omid Abtahi. We discover that Zoe's biological father is Samir. Samir discloses the passing of his lab mates. An accident happened during the testing of a hamster infected with the super killing virus, spilling the remaining virus into the water supply. The farm animals were afflicted by such water supplies. There is only one vial of the virus remaining in him. The boys propose injecting it into one of Samir's deceased lab mates, placing the body outside the barn, and watching for the descent of the super beasts. After consuming the body, the virus ought to start acting quickly. Huey and Daphne then face Hugh in an effort to come up with a solution. For this reason, never provide Compound V to a mentally ill person. At last, they manage to convince Hugh to acknowledge them. It seems like he breaks out of his murderous rampage. Indeed, the strategy on the farm is effective. The virus-ridden body of Samir's lab companion is eaten by the animals. One sheep throws up a lot and then passes out. Then everything perishes, including the other flying sheep. The FBSA then shows up to take Stan into custody. He's upset at Butcher and MM for breaking the agreement. Stan is reminded by MM that this was only possible if they managed to obtain the virus. In theory, the virus has vanished. Not knowing where Samir is, Victoria becomes terrified. She is shown Samir's leg in a sack by an FBSA agent as evidence of his demise. While traveling to the prison, Stan's driver's skull explodes. Naturally, Victoria is to blame. She walks up to her father by adoption. The Seven and the Guardians of Godolkin, Sam, Asa German and Kate, Maddie Phillips, are gathered by Homelander to talk about their mission. Homie thinks that our nation is under attack and that they need to defend themselves. Cameron Coleman is the leaker, thus he gives the order for the Supes to beat him to death. He nicknamed Marvin Milk, MM, and there's proof. Ashley spieth outside. She gives a grin. She saved her and the train's skins by using Cameron as a scapegoat. Cameron, rest in peace. Kimiko tells Frenchie via text later on that they ought to chat. After receiving the SMS, Frenchie turns off his phone. He's at the police station, as we can see. He confesses to carrying out many killings. Huey and Daphne are ready to bid farewell to Hugh at the hospital. They give him a mix of drugs by injection so he can pass away quietly. He wants to live a life free from this. The three discuss Paris. Before dying, Hugh tells Huey he loves him. Huey sobs while Daphne embraces him. Then, Butcher shows up at an undisclosed location to keep Samir captive. Indeed, Butcher severed his limb and staged Samir's demise to divert Victoria's attention. While Butcher instructs Samir to produce more of the super killing virus, Kessler remains unseen in the background.
The answer.
Where? Is the virus gone?
That's the only.
Between right and wrong with that
Bryce, you serious?
I love you so much.
We are monsters so other people don't.
Now listen up, son. Mary's little lamb is starting to stink. You just give us a list of what you... Listen, mate, I'm the only
Could just send you back. You all right?
You got a week. Don't let him fall asleep this time.
Miss Marshall pursued J-Lo's maid Marissa.
Wanted. God, did he love made him.
You know.
Kimiko, our friend.
Fuck are your friends?
Of course! Sorry, Daphne, I'm so sorry.
That man is...
Has taken a sabbatical, and is brainwashing you into.
Let your intention.
Toronto, so we can talk.
Vought scientist Samir, Omid Abtahi is being held hostage by Billy Butcher, Carl Urban and Joe Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who rendered him immobile by amputating one of his legs. Samir is instructed by Butcher to produce more of the virus that will infect and destroy Homelanders. Later, when an unwell Butcher goes back to the boys' headquarters, the ghost of Becker, Chantel Van Santen, visits him once again and questions him about why he severed another man's leg out of bloodlust. Becker also challenges Butcher's purpose for killing Homelander, claiming that doing so will just lead to the replacement of Homelander by another Supe who resembles him. When the scientist sees Samir again, he informs Butcher that the virus would destroy all superheroes, including Annie, Erin Moriarty, Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara, and Ryan, Cameron Crovetti, Becker's kid. Joe pushes back when Butcher realizes he would be perpetrating genocide on a worldwide scale.
Come on out, kid.
Ass sweat and broken dreams in here.
Sherlock Holmes on meth.
I don't like this. Oh, God. Okay.
Master Knight's expect.
It. Oh, it's so good to meet. But if tonight goes well,
You guys have stables?
I don't want to be at this CPAC nightmare.
Did a little high treason.
I'm sorry, what the about him?
Well, apparently, he hasn't been seen since.
That's why I went to the Safdies to direct.
I love your study.
You want to see the tech cave?
Yes.
Like in my movies. There's nothing greater than a father.
Head off, sir.
Based on trust. But don't worry.
Butcher learns a shocking truth about his terminal disease when Joe starts conversing with Becker's device out of the blue. Hugh Sr. is remembered on the streets of New York City by Huey and Daphne, Rosemary DeWitt. Huey and Daphne carried out Hugh Sr.'s request by spreading his ashes while on a walking tour of the Manhattan, New York City, set used to shoot Maid, starring Jennifer Lopez. Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso, Annie, and Kimiko will be traveling with them. After admitting to killing his boyfriend Collins, Elliot Knight family years prior, Kimiko tries to visit Frenchie, Toma Capone in prison, but Frenchie turns her requests down. Hugh Sr. is remembered on the streets of New York City by Huey and Daphne, Rosemary DeWitt. Huey and Daphne carried out Hugh Sr.'s request by spreading his ashes while on a walking tour of the Manhattan, New York City, set used to shoot Maid, starring Jennifer Lopez. Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso, Annie, and Kimiko will be traveling with them. After admitting to killing his boyfriend Collins, Elliot Knight family years prior, Kimiko tries to visit Frenchie, Toma Capone in prison, but Frenchie turns her requests down. Valerie Curry's character Firecracker replaces Cameron Coleman, Matthew Edison as the interim anchor of the Vault News Network. Coleman, however, will not be returning because in episode 5, he was put to death by the Seven for allegedly leaking the video data from the Seven's crime analytics division. Naturally, the information cleared 2 Starlighters accused of murdering 3 home team members. A train, Jesse T. Usher, terrified of Coleman's death, phones Mother's Milk to inform him about the Federalist Party meeting.
With Tanya, helping Joe Jr. killed. Came to me. Chris and me likes to hear him scream.
Here. I want to play with you too.
Lid on your stupid masked face. Pain slut.
Yes! Yes!
If Web Weaver went
Around my wrist until you shit.
Why don't you come over here? I'm sorry for what I did to you. She saw me and I said those fucking words.
Mother's Milk divulges a train's information on Homelander's formation of a superhuman army. After taking off his mask, Black Noir 2, Nathan Mitchell drinks a bottle of sake and complains to the Deep, Chase Crawford, about not getting invited to the Federalist Society event. As he tries to save Huey from the tech cave, a train saves Mother's Milk from what appears to be a heart attack. A train smiles knowing he's used his talents for good as he sees a small child standing outside the hospital while delivering Mother's Milk. The youngster glances at the soup in awe, having witnessed a superhero in action. After rescuing Huey from the tech cave, Kimiko and Annie force Tech Knight to make financial and physical reparations by breaking into his bank account and transferring millions of dollars to charities that support social justice. Tech reveals the scheme to them, stating that he has an agreement with Homelander and Sister Sage to house their dissidents in his network of private jails around the nation. Homelander is taken aback when Firecracker confesses that she has been using lactation pills. As a result, Firecracker gives Homelander access to fresh breast milk and takes on the role of his wet nurse, a la Madeline Stillwell, Elizabeth Shue in earlier seasons of The Boys. It appears that Firecracker's role is to either prevent the soup from murdering Homelander or, at the very least, maintain Homelander under control, much like the late Stillwell did. Episode 6 of The Boys features politics again, but this time, it does so primarily in a way that fits the plot and doesn't come across as preachy. Episode 5 was largely free of politics. Thus, during Firecracker's VNN appearance, Kripke parodies a right-wing conspiracy theory. However, the real goal of the Federalist Society meeting is for Sister Sage to persuade the most influential politicians present to commit high treason and invoke the 25th Amendment in order for Vice President-elect and covert operative Victoria Newman, Claudia Dumet, to assume the presidency. It advances the Season 4 plot from a narrative perspective. In addition, Kripke subtly introduces contentious political subjects into the scenes at Tech Knight's estate. Victoria Newman is left stunned, although in a fantastical way when Senator Calhoun, David Andrews explains to her why he supports a national ban on abortions. Once more, though, the incident succeeds from a narrative perspective because it persuades Victoria to support Sister Sage's scheme to take part in the overthrow of the government. While the majority of the gory scenes from Episode 5 were hilariously funny, flying feral sheep, what's not to love? Kripke's BDSM scenes in Tech Knight's dungeon highlight the boy's bizarre sexual perversion to the point where it surpasses the uncomfortable scene from Episode 2 of this season involving the human centipede. Of course, the reappearance of Homelander's breastfeeding obsession, one of the most strange recurring plots in the whole series, adds even more insanity to the mix. Even if the tone of The Boys Season 4 is still inconsistent from episode to episode, at least Episode 6 offered some thought-provoking insights that heighten the tension as the season approaches its finale. Notwithstanding the strangeness, Kripke is at least showcasing some excellent narrative skills by tying the Homelander plot to Victoria Newman's presidency and providing further information about Homelander's intentions to overthrow the government. Even while Dirty Business isn't the finest episode of Season 4, it is among the most inventive in terms of plot.
Visitation.
No!
Done.
Coleman wasn't the...
This invoked.
You're talking about a coup.
We're talking about killing every suit.
Brain tumor, you cunt, which is what...
The long face.
Christmas.
Well, what do they look like?
You see something, stays a Paul and his husband Chad.
Right. Right, yeah. Yeah.
The meeting started at 11.
Well, you're not just buying JPEGs, you're
Really meeting in
Heard we said at Tech Nights.
once and for all. CIA?
Yes, you're illustrious.
You call that harmless? Oh, look at
Sage.
talking to this great man.
Like frat house lava lamps.
I came so many times. No, wait!
This is a synopsis of The Boys Season 4 Episode 7, The Insider, which takes place over the Christmas season. Ryan is practicing a jingle about how the Antifa hates soups and America for a children's ad.
And it's sure.
It continues by saying that if parents support Antifa, children should also report them. Uncomfortable, Ryan walks away. He discovers a Christmas present from Don T. Beacon, also known as Butcher, in his room.
You really think this could be our Lee
It's a
Harvey?
picture of Butcher, Becca, and the dog. Sage is being attacked by Homelander and Firecracker, who believe she lacks the intelligence to discover the leak or to stop the boys from bugging Tech Knight's party.
Which is why I fucking tell
Homelander
him.
advises her to only concentrate on tracking out a gunman, and she gets demoted. A train warns the boys by listening in on them. Regarding the Deep, he continues to make bogus promises to Ambrosius the Octopus, but he leaves her in order to get involved with Sage. If Vicky were to become president, the boys would be working to get their loved ones to escape the nation.
Wait, what?
Donna, Annie's obstinate
No, you
mother,
can't
confronts
do
her
this.
instead of praising her for becoming an abortionist role model. By disclosing that Huey has preserved the Starlight outfit, she further agitates the situation.
One fucking job
Huey
to do.
attempts to comfort an irate Annie, who at last sobs and says she doesn't want to have a kid in a world that is coming to an end. The boys reorganize, and Butcher comes back acknowledging that he has reached a dead end. Joe tries to dissuade him, believing that it would be a horrible idea to include the boys, as he informs them about Samir and the airborne infection. The others realize that Butcher is confused. They now have a plan, though. Butcher has freed Frenchie from jail to assist Samir. They will produce enough virus to murder Homelander and Vicky, and the others will investigate Sage's shooter. To everyone's amazement, MM admits he is not suited for leadership and lets Butcher take control. Then he attempts to convince his family to leave, but Monique won't let him accompany them. When a train visits Ashley, she eventually finds out that Coleman was killed because he was set up as the leaker. She wants to go to Florence since she is a mess, but a train encourages her to gather herself. He is then taken aback to discover that MM is departing with Monique. He discloses that MM turned him into a true superhero capable of saving lives. When that fails, though, a train makes clear that MM will always be the target of Homelander's retaliation. Huey, Annie, and Butcher go to the shooter's residence in the meanwhile. Joe has more serious issues after learning that the gunman intends to kill Singer during his upcoming protest, but a sick Butcher still gives him the quiet treatment. When the three discover a female behind bars, they discover that she is the shooter. She cuts Huey and flees. She transforms into an elderly woman who encounters her and flees, and it turns out that she is a shapeshifter. Frenchie is kind to Samir at the temporary lab, going above and above to ensure the scientist feels at ease.
Look, I got a lot going on.
When Samir requests confirmation that Vicky won't be exposed to the virus, he also tells a falsehood. Subsequently, Frenchie makes amends with Kimiko, explaining that he cut her off out of embarrassment and mistrust that she wouldn't comprehend. She says she was made to train as a silent assassin, which is why she lost her voice. Whoever cried out first in training would die. Though Kimiko continued to prevail, she now feels that she ought to have resisted and been slain rather than carrying out the murder. She can therefore clearly relate to Frenchie's perspective. They both say they want to improve, and they even have plans to release Samir when he's finished. Firecracker at Vought is ecstatic to have discovered Webweaver, the leak. He acknowledges the charges despite not knowing the whole story, saying he would provide Butcher insider information in exchange for narcotics. Even though Homelander questions Webweaver's knowledge of their encounter at the ice rink, he nonetheless murders him. Frustrated by the new turn of events, he also hurriedly sends Ryan a message, ordering him to get over his feelings and perform the Antifa commercial. In another scene, Ambrosius and Deep argue because she is aware of Sage. He smashes her tank in his rage. He lets her pass away after realizing that she is the only one who has any power over him. Liberated, he agrees to slay Butcher once and for all since he is extremely self-assured that he can accomplish anything for Homelander. He discovers Butcher and Annie in the loft with Noir 2 and launches an attack. Things aren't looking good for our heroes now that Noir 2 can fly. Butcher asks Joe to aid, but Joe never shows up. Annie is about to be killed by a joyful Deep until a train and MM save them. They vanquish the pair and flee, but a train's disguise is compromised.
I understand you. Your
Ashley
accent's
realizes
insane.
she can't go as he
Joke's on
tells
you.
her they should
Me
follow
too.
their plan. She sends him her best wishes and advises him to turn off his tracker before making his getaway. Homelander's grief quickly turns to rage as Sage says she always knew a train was the leaker. Her strategy was to use a train to spread false information to the boys. Homelander fires her because he is enraged because she keeps secrets. As Sage leaves, she encounters a battered Deep in Noir 2. It is revealed that she has also been sleeping with Noir 2 when Deep tries to hook up with her. Deep is shocked to learn that he is in love with her even though she didn't lobotomize herself to sleep with him. Butcher, Annie, and MM hide at a tavern in the meantime. Monique is devastated by MM as he is unable to go with her.
You shouted a name.
Butcher pretends to be unaware when Annie questions him about Joe. Annie accepts a strange woman's request for a photo while they both drink to get over their emotions. For Kimiko and Frenchie, Samir's achievement means that their time of being babysitters is ended. However, once Frenchie releases him from his chains, Samir uses the virus to stab Kimiko in the leg and limps away. Before the illness can spread, he hurriedly saws off her leg, but Frenchie is too sad to care. The good news is that Kimiko's severed leg is the only place where they now have the infection. Returning to Ryan, he hears Homelander's message and consents to the live shop advertisement. He interrupts the commercial, pointing out that his mother always encouraged him to tell the truth, after realizing that it is incorrect. Ashley freaks out, Homelander gets mad, and Butcher watches the advertisement in the pub with pride. At last, Joe appears, saying he was giving the silent treatment back. Because he believes in Ryan, Butcher doesn't give a damn. However, it is short-lived as he collapses unexpectedly. Huey visits Vicky in the meantime in an attempt to persuade her not to murder Singer. When he brings up the prison camps, she doesn't seem to care, although she does display hesitation. Even though Huey realizes now that she was ignorant, she won't give up. He returns home to Annie wearing the Starlight outfit, disappointed. She makes jokes about him having sexual fantasies about the outfit. However, once he falls asleep, she grabs the laptop with Vicky's information, revealing to us that she is the shapeshifter. At last, the true Annie is shown to be shackled. As she was leaving, she realized that the lady who had taken the selfie was the shapeshifter and had chloroformed her. That concludes our synopsis of The Boys Season 4, Episode 7.
Something say.
Get out. You're done.
There's one.
To kill Homelander would evolve into some...
Fucking want to do this. Or we figure out how to kill him.
Stop.
Once it camps, you just focus on the shooter.
Gotta end at the stage, though.
Today, stunning news. We go behind the scenes of a power. Congress counts electoral votes.
Gets in an orderly fashion.
That's wall. I'm close.
Hey.
Hey, country barreling towards 1984.
At my great-grandmother.
Huh. I'm terrified of what... Hard yes, let's get married. Wow, that was great.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Delegate from Kansas, the parliamentarian.
You know, fuck. Oh.
Show for it. I mean, Singer, but
Real.
well, no, that's an interesting. What is real? I'm the one that gave you the juice.
Bugging.
You go all the way.
Why would you?
For you.
Damn it. I always will be.
Those lean lad down. Don't fucking Sedona and no one.
I proposed to Huey this morning.
Oh, Christ. It's like a sociopath. 1 minute I was me and this friend shoplifting lip gloss. You all do it. Good and honest.
Fault that I was a total cunt at the party, and it's not my fault. Come on.
Hours working. You made it undeniable.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Oi, oi.
And then, you know, after that happens, they're...
About this place, Nevada. Then he nearly pissed himself when I told him.
We can figure this out.
Then would you?
It's for you.
This is in winter today.
Oh, God. Excuse me. Welcome to your hearts for being here.
That the real issue here is lack of representation.
It's all true. And our toddlers, but it is.
Interesting.
All right.
I worked my whole life to keep that
World. Vicky.
did in 4 years.
That's who. The station gorgeous. And you're off. And of course I thought of that. On me or the 7.
That doesn't sound good, Ashley.
There's a joint session resolved.
Season on Singer now. Frenchie, tell me you got...
You seeing this?
You all had another fucking choice. Trust me, I take it.
Hear everything.
Okay, wait a second. You got backups. Frenchie, you stay here. And now it's defense.
Why I'm calling for a new
Wow, guess you gotta go take a...
You're almost.
Listen, Ryan. Yourself dead more times than I do, Billy. Here comes
Well, your dad is a.
Grace. Trying to do here. Now, if you're telling...
This contract would have to pay out if they're...
Circle of trust. We'll be sworn in. People will panic.
Hero, every fucking one. Sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm just. No big thing.
Okay, well, you're coughing all... At the end of the day.
Stay sharp and follow motherfucking
pool, idiot.
Do you really think the chef... Jesus.
It's like a furnace in there.
John?
I would love one. Shit. Don't look at me, just look forward.
Okay, listen. The fate of...
That we did.
Decision I ever made in my life, so congratulations.
Come with me!
Come on.
Huey, go yourself out. Could you? I don't know.
Nope, there's nothing on the news.
Because he's gonna hit.
Be president, and you will go have. I will make sure Zoe knows that.
Zenny's the motherfucking genius of all.
Hello?
Also found your fiance. Pried it off her fucking dead.
Had to be less than...
That's the Annie you want. Down to...
The final clue. In the bunker, you.
Homelander's unhinged. She's not even listening to say off my ass and get me and Zoe out.
Okay, fuck. Okay, so...
The leg thing wasn't me.
And...
No, I wanted to feel safe. I'll tell you where Zoe is. With you.
Don't kill me. I can pay.
On the 7.
You're amazing.
That's good enough for me. Lee.
If there's even a 5% chance, just trying to do right by your kid.
It's insane.
Blink at it. But forgiveness, letting go, the last thing my dad ever taught me, and I just think...
Fuck it. So, fuck. You get that virus in the Newman system. At least we ain't walking in blind. And you...
Look, Annie.
Shut up.
Even to Newman.
Oh.
No, I can hear you.
They're gonna try again. And that virus. The assassination board.
Grace.
And? Like, kill him? Dad? I have to go.
You can't leave. Safe house designed to hold people like you.
Help you.
You're locking me in a cage unless I...
Empty black hole inside. Please.
Grace.
You took your braces off.
And I go quiet.
Great, so... Never once asked you to trust me.
Ain't no fucking way.
No.
Vice President-elect
Celebrating. Balls? But,
Singer himself ordering the federal agents.
trust me, boo. Just see if I could. Next time, buckle up for phase 2.
Martial law.
And deputize
State starlighters embedded in America.
Because today,
Peacefully in their mother's arms. Monsters who want to destroy our.
Again. Proud. America super again.
The Boys Season 4 finale, formerly known as Assassination Run, is an intense, relentless adrenaline adventure that lasts the entire duration. The brilliant Season 4 finale sets the stage for what will undoubtedly be an incredible 5th and final season. The program seems to be back in full force after taking a little hiatus. We begin on January 6th, the day when Bob Singer is scheduled to be killed, with a VNN Today segment that discloses that, despite having been finished, training a train has been shelved. Colby Minifie's character Ashley is frank on camera when she says that Vought would receive a larger tax write-off if she didn't disclose it. Whoa, this is too personal. Still, let's #release the Bork cut. Concurrently, Frenchie, Toma Capone is under pressure from Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso to complete refining the superkilling virus. He keeps testing it on the severed leg stump of Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara. Bob Singer and Victoria Newman are firmly established as the President and Vice President of the United States on television when Speaker Calhoun, David Andrews, counts the ballots. Later, MM texts Huey, Jack Quaid in a panic, inquiring as to whether he has had access to the FBSA database. They have to find the ultimate shapeshifter who has been assigned to Singer's murder. The shifter Annie, Erin Moriarty, appears at the same moment wearing a blue ball gown. When Huey sees her dressed formally, he is shocked. Then Shifter Annie makes him a proposal. One more surprise. Huey takes Shifter Annie's engagement band off her finger and places it on hers. I regret that Huey wasted such a lovely and sincere speech on a fake. They then indulge in post-engagement excess. Shifter Annie is sleeping in bed when she feels her ring's flesh tearing off. She leaves to go feast on the actual Annie, I assume. Butcher, Carl Urban awakens in a hospital bed in another scene. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character Kessler keeps making fun of him for not taking over the virus and initiating a massive massacre. In the meantime, Homelander, Anthony Starr, who began amassing grey hairs at the start of the season, studies his collection. Next, Homie discovers in Ryan's backpack the framed picture of Butcher, Terra, and Becca. In a moment of wrath, Ryan, Cameron Crovetti hears Homie lasering their apartment. Later, in that rundown chamber, the real Annie struggles to take off her bindings. Annie, the shifter, storms in and demands to touch her in order to restore her beauty. Shifter Annie feeds into our fears, particularly those related to her abilities. Our Annie's skills are still lacking. Our Annie is accused by Shifter Annie of thinking she is morally better. More significantly, though, is that she boasts about having sex with Huey and shows our Annie her engagement ring. Upon Bob and Victoria's certification, MM insists that Frenchie continue pursuing the virus. Huey is freaking out because his files on Victoria have disappeared in the interim. I believe a shifter is at fault. Grace, Layla Robbins, goes to Butcher in another place. We find that she is to blame for the way he is being treated now. She invites Ryan to speak with Butcher in his room. Butcher acknowledges that his situation isn't looking good, but he assured Becca that he would keep Ryan safe. Ryan will accompany Grace, then. Ryan is adamant that Homie will eventually locate him. Grace gives him the assurance that it won't occur. Even though Ambrosius killed her, the deep, Chase Crawford is grieving for her loss. Homie receives a list of Vought workers from Ashley to terminate. Following that, Homie meets with Firecracker, Deep, Black Noir 2, Nathan Mitchell, and the 7, the 4. This time, Firecracker gives Homie extra milk, and it has a tinge of cilantro, laughs. Firecracker begins to cough throughout the conference. We find out that the drug she's taking is causing severe adverse effects, including lactate buildup. Homie then says that they have a plan in place. There will be a soups rally in every major city in the nation, Bob Singer will pass away, and Victoria will win the presidency. Make America super again is what's needed. Oh, and there is a list of vault workers that are required to perish. Homie accepts Deep's suggestion that they include Ashley. When Ashley hears this outside, she runs away and heads straight for Homie's apartment. She gives herself a compound V injection. Her bones crack and change all of a sudden, and she falls to the ground. Later, Bob Singer's Jim Beaver property is reached by MM, Kimiko, Huey, and Shifter Annie. Bob calls them IDJITS, which makes my heart glad since I love Supernatural. Huey eventually understands that Shifter Annie isn't his Annie while he's there. Her comment that she feels like she's in a furnace gives him away. In the previous episode, the Shifter says just that. MM is told by Huey that Annie is their Shifter. Abruptly, Shifter Annie begins thrashing the president's guards. Simultaneously, Annie manages to escape her limitations without using her abilities. Shifter Annie fights Kimiko, but Huey and MM make sure the president gets away with it all. Before our Annie shows there to save the day, Shifter Annie snaps Kimiko's neck. Following the escape of MM, Huey, and the president, our Annie engages in a duel with Shifter Annie, eventually strangling her to death. Annie seemed to be making progress on conquering her fears and her weak abilities. Just before both of the women go, Kimiko resurrects. Victoria phones Homelander in the meanwhile, saying their plan isn't going to work. Homie lashes out at her, telling her it has to work. For the remainder of Victoria's life, Homie will send her annual portions of her daughter if Victoria fails. Annie's wrist injuries from her shackles are later treated by MM. It comes out that she was held hostage by the Shifter for 10 days. Huey says he's sorry for not realizing he was, getting engaged to an Annie imposter and having sex. Frenchie has perfected the virus that kills Supermen. However, in unrelated news, Victoria begs Huey to let her go. She promises to step down quietly and vanish with her kid. Avoiding this game is the only way to win. Huey doesn't know if he can rely on Victoria. She has, after all, committed some horrifying crimes. In an act of good faith, Victoria says she'll let Huey know where Zoe is if he assists them in getting away. In another part of Seven Tower, our soups are killing 2 knowing Vought employees in a free-for-all. One of the authors, Evan Lambert, David Reel, is killed by Deep. However, Evan offers to pay Deep beforehand. I was really angry at Deep's comment about Evan being a writer and getting paid sh*T. Oh no, Black Noir 2, in the meantime, kills Ashley, Sabrina Sowden, who is not on the list. Huey informs the others that Victoria has joined their side. She may help destroy Homelander and Vought. The boys had some doubts about this idea. Huey, on the other hand, says he is sick of the violence and their dependence on it. He is forgiving to others. In order to beat the monsters, Huey wishes to act more like a human. Afterwards, Frenchie and Kimiko discuss Huey's remarks. So what if they are able to pardon themselves for their transgressions? They bring up Frenchie's past relationships and Kimiko's belief that she wasn't deserving of him. The kimchi kiss is the conclusion of this. Grace informs Ryan of the facts as Butcher and Ryan play Connect 4. Flight 37 is the responsibility of Homelander. Additionally, he planned Bob Singer's failed assassination. And in a serious crime that will affect Ryan more personally, Homelander sexually assaulted Becca. Ryan seems doubtful. He would much rather stay in Seven Tower, even after hearing this. Then, we find out they're in a super complex. Ryan motions for Grace to move aside. Ryan pushes Grace too hard when she tells him she loves him. She is killed by the push. Farewell, Grace Mallory. As Butcher stands over Grace's body, Ryan runs away. When Kessler resurfaces, they exchange perceptive glances. Grace informs Ryan of the facts as Butcher and Ryan play Connect 4. Flight 37 is the responsibility of Homelander. Additionally, he planned Bob Singer's failed assassination. And in a serious crime that will affect Ryan more personally, Homelander sexually assaulted Becca. Ryan seems doubtful. He would much rather stay in Seven Tower, even after hearing this. Then, we find out they're in a super complex. Ryan motions for Grace to move aside. Ryan pushes Grace too hard when she tells him she loves him. She is killed by the push. Farewell, Grace Mallory. As Butcher stands over Grace's body, Ryan runs away. When Kessler resurfaces, they exchange perceptive glances. Then, with the assurance that the gang will thank him later, Butcher steals the virus from Frenchie before heading off. Homie then turns on the TV, which announces that the White House is under lockdown due to Victoria's murder. Sage, Susan Hayward enters his chamber with a waltz. All of this, she says, is part of her strategy. Sage was unable to tell Homie this. Because she thought Victoria would have been a terrible patsy, she changed her story and accused Bob of killing Victoria. The boys are shown on the news as wanted suspects, and there is video of Bob berating Mother's Milk for not killing Victoria as he had instructed from the facility. Bob is carried out in handcuffs by the FBI. Sage then gives Homie the phone. We're talking to Speaker Calhoun. He is the next in line to become president since that Bob and Victoria are no longer involved. Calhoun is going to be Homie and Sage's ideal puppet. Homelander doesn't know why Sage came back after he let her go. She gives him credit for giving her the ability to use power like never before. President Calhoun does indeed give a speech. Declaring martial law, he intends to assign hundreds of superheroes across the country, all of whom will answer directly to Homelander. Homie moves Calhoun out of the way to speak to the nation. He claims he'll track down the perpetrators and attributes Victoria's passing to Starlighters. Huey, Mother's Milk, Annie, Frenchie, and Kimiko all split ways at the same moment. Everybody is in possession of a passport. is in the bathroom getting ready, while Frenchie and Kimiko are heading for a ship. Derek Johns' character, Love Sausage, throws to the ground as Vought officers apprehend him. As Huey and Annie travel down an empty road, Annie realizes her powers are fully restored. A boat then appears out of the sky, crashing into Huey and Annie. Huey is carted off by armed cops. When Cindy, Hotmoser shows there, she taunts Annie. Then it appears that Frenchie and Kimiko are being ambushed by Sam, Asa German and Kate, Maddie Phillips. Frenchie steps inside an armored truck after Kate whispers in his ear. Kimiko cries out as Sam restrains her. No, she exclaims over and over. What a stirring moment. Butcher uses the virus in the passenger seat while traveling along a road in another scene. Seated behind him is Kessler. Homelander learns that Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles, also known as Daddy Dearest, is still alive in the mid-credits sequence. He seems conflicted as he approaches the unconscious Soldier Boy.